Hi, this is Emmett with Room for Tuesday, and as you guys know, Sarah and I have been remodeling our kitchen for the past few weeks, and today we are finally finishing up with the fun part of installing the base cabinets, and I thought I'd take you guys on a look on the details of how to install them. So I had my friend Chris from work come and help us install the cabinets. Him and I have done a few projects around the world installing different cabinets in different countries. And so he came over to give me a hand. This is a rather big kitchen and we're trying to get it done so we can go back to living our normal life in our kitchen. So I was in the other end of the house unboxing cabinets and bringing them to him, and he was installing, as you will see him in the video. So let's show you guys how to install some cabinets. So this is our second kitchen that we've done with Lowe's. Our last kitchen we did at place that I work, and as you guys know, that I work for a custom cabinet shop, and so this is our second time around with Lowe's, and I was rather impressed to say the least. I received an installation packet, which we never even give out at our work, but it goes through all the details of the dimensions of the cabinets, the layout. All the cabinets are numbered with labels that tell you what cabinet they are. They correspond to the pictures and the diagrams of where the layout goes. And then it's followed by a rather detailed installation instructions of how far that they need to be off of the wall to make it fit. All the different pieces, like scribe pieces that go on the cabinets. And overall I was just very impressed at how organized it was. There was even some dimensions that I'd like to know before I started, so we called up our local designer at the store. She was able to give me those dimensions on another little project that we were working on. She sent them right over to us, so all the little info that we needed, she was able to get to us if we didn't already have it in the packet. So one of the first unique things that happens whenever you install your own cabinets is Lowe's does do a disclaimer that you have measured your own space accordingly. In our kitchen, it was unique that we were actually adding walls. So we were giving our Lowe's planner dimensions that weren't even built yet. So it was very important that I build the walls that we were gonna build to the dimensions that we told Lowe's our kitchen was gonna end up being. So the packet was really nice because the very first, one of the very first pages is a detailed layout. I don't know if that's in focus, I think it is. All of the measurements for the room. So the very first thing I did whenever we got our packet was I double checked how I built my walls to make sure it was within parameters that they gave us, actually down to about 1/4 inch. So once everything was good, that kind of reconfirmed that all of our cabinets were gonna fit and I wasn't gonna have any issues. And then the other thing that I really liked was each elevation, which is basically each wall worth of cabinets. Each elevation gets a kind of before you start. There is a list of things that you need to know about this specific wall, down to the filler pieces on each side of the fridge, how far away this cabinet in the corner should be pushed away from the corner of the wall. Install the cabinet that sits on top of the countertop after the countertop gets installed. So all of that information is in here. Very detailed. It's really nice to know. I'm terrible at reading directions, so I actually kind of skipped some steps and then realized, oh yeah, I should have just read the directions. So proved me wrong that I don't know everything. And then lastly, for each wall, there is a kind of a line drawing, I guess, of each cabinetry or each elevation. So it kind of shows you a real life picture of how it should look. Make sure you got the right set of drawers and doors and all of that info. So it was very helpful having these packets, something that I am not used to, and I think it would be very easy to install cabinets if you've never even done it before. Okay, so the first step while installing base cabinets is to take the height of your cabinet and measure that distance from the floor up the wall and make a mark all around the perimeter of the room that you're working in, or at least the walls that cabinets are going to be on. And so you're actually going to take that 34.5 inches, which is how tall these cabinets are, make a mark on the wall, and make a mark on the wall through any cabinets that are connected to it. So anywhere that the countertop is going to be continuous. And then I like to use a laser level on a tripod, and I basically set that laser on each individual mark, and I figure out which mark is higher than the rest of them. That's the mark that you're going to set all your cabinets to. And so the first cabinet's the highest. If you do run into a spot in the floor that slopes down, you're going to shim the cabinets up. Hopefully your floor is level and you don't have to deal with this, but it happens. So it's always easier to shim a cabinet up than to try to set your lowest cabinet first, and then all the rest of them you have to cut down, and it's simpler just to start over at that point. So I use the laser level for that. I also like to leave it on the entire time to make sure I'm not getting stuff all out of whack. I like to use a regular level. The longer, the more accurate on a longer run. That keeps them straight and not slouching or sloping or sagging in any particular spot. You can also check the face of your cabinets to make sure they're nice and straight. And then I also use a 2-foot level to check the front to back. It fits really nice on a base cabinet. And you can make sure that once your countertop's installed, you're not gonna have food rolling off into the middle of your floor because you've made sure your cabinets are level. So that's step one. Next, we're going to start installing cabinets and screwing them to the walls. So the next step is actually clamping the cabinets together. And we're gonna do that by using these little C-clamps. And they don't have to be tight, but it's to keep them together when we screw through. I like to clamp them, and then sometimes I'll have to level up and square up the face, make sure they're level across, flush with the faces. And I've went ahead and actually drilled a countersink bit into the side, and using a screw appropriate for the countersink, we're actually going to go through the face frames of both of the cabinets. And they don't have to be real tight. We don't want to bust it out or anything like that. And I put usually 3, sometimes 4 in. You can release the clamp and they're good to go. So, in a recap, after you find your level and you install each individual cabinet by screwing it to the adjoining cabinet and all of the cabinets being screwed to the wall, you are ready for countertop templating. And in this case, we're actually going to be installing the countertops tomorrow. Once the countertops are in, we will then be setting the upper cabinets on top of the countertops. So we're not quite done, it's just part of phase 1. Be sure to check us out again once we get the uppers in. We'll start finishing out with the trim overlays, the crown molding that's attached to the cabinets, as well as an instructional video on installing the hardware.